What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. And guys, can you believe it that it's been almost 10 years? 8 years. And the putrid stench, the funk of The Last Jedi still hangs heavy in the air like a dead skunk on the side of I-95 South on the most hottest, most humid day. Like a freshly cracked, rotten egg. That is The Last Jedi. We're talking about a movie so bad that in all of these years, they have spent coming up with books and comic books and movies and interviews and TV shows just to try to fill in the various plot holes that that movie has caused. The damage that it's caused to all of our favorite characters. The divisiveness that it caused in our fandom. But by far, I think the worst thing that they ever did as a result of The Last Jedi was they came up with this concept where they directly attack the fandom. And they disproportionately spend most of their time and energy focusing on the toxic side of the fandom. The racists, the misogynists, the sexist side of the fandom. The homophobic side of the fandom. Rather than addressing the legitimate concerns of the fans and the customers. Those of us who had real concerns with that movie and the story that it told. No, they don't want to address that. They rather put a spotlight on racist, middle-aged, angry, incel white guys, right? That's their narrative. That's what they want to go with. They don't even want to acknowledge people like me. I've been doing this for a long time, guys. I've been doing this for a very long time. And I've never had my concerns addressed. Or people like me, for that matter. No black people, no women, no gay people, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was all focusing on those angry, middle-aged white guys living in their mom's basement. You know, all of that stuff. You know what it was, you know? And in pursuit of that, one of their biggest weapons that they used against the fans was a young actress by the name of Kelly Marie Tran, or Loan, L-O-A-N. That's her real name. Right? So they used Kelly Marie Tran and they tried to act like she was bullied so bad. She was brutalized so bad. She had to do something desperate. She had to do the unthinkable. She had to get off of the internet. And they really, really ran with that narrative, guys. And I've done something about 8 or 9 videos regarding Kelly Marie Tran because I always thought it was a very curious case because I could never find her actually saying that it was the fans who did this to her. Right? As a matter of fact, it seems like in interviews, she kind of danced around that. Like she really didn't directly blame the fans for what she was going through. If anything, it sounded like it was more of a problem that she had with the industry, right? So it brings us to today because Kelly Marie Tran is sounding off again, right? And this is an interview in Variety.com, right? And she's talking about a new movie that she's in called The Wedding Banquet, I believe it is. But of course, they didn't want to miss an opportunity to take some more shots at the fans. Because as we know, guys, Disney Star Wars under Disney and under Lucasfilm is failing. It's sinking fast. It's burning. They can't get a win to save their lives. You know what I mean? But if they can take some shots at the fans and blame it on the fans, well, that's all well and good, right? So we have this article here on Variety.com. And the headline goes, Kelly Marie Tran on how Wedding Banquet empowered her to come out as queer. You heard right, Pilgrim. She's queer. And why Star Wars racism is a microcosm for the social climate. I don't know why they had to go there. She's starring in this new movie now in 2025, but they want to go back to 2017 to talk about Star Wars and the racism in Star Wars, right? So it starts off by saying, over the past few years, things have made a 180 from the period of her life when Tran was facing racist and sexist vitriol from toxic Star Wars fans after she joined the blockbuster sci-fi franchise as Rose Tico in 2017's The Last Jedi. All right, a lot has changed for Tran since Star Wars, but as she looks back on her experience with that fandom, she knows that the racism she faced was symptomatic of a larger continuing issue. When considering what she wants to see change for actors of color, who might not receive the support they need when they appear in major franchises, she replies, the world? Okay, so she's saying she wants to see the world change, all right? She's not specifically talking about the fandom. It's the world that we're in, the way the world thinks. She wants to change the world to support diversity, right? And she goes on to say, this is the quote from her now. It's interesting how it seems to be happening pretty consistently to actors of color who find themselves in these spaces, Tran explains. And I think these occurrences are a microcosm for the social climate that we're living in. And it's really unfortunate, she says. She goes on to say, or actually the article says, Tran points out that people of color are often at the forefront of storytelling, and audiences could perhaps begin to evolve too. She says, the hope is that people who are not afforded the ability, maybe, to have access to these communities of queer people or people of color are able to see through the art that people of color and queer people are also human, and they have hopes and dreams, she says. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, guys. I mean, every human being has the right to pursue happiness, especially in America. America is supposed to be a melting pot after all. Maybe some of you forgot about that. You weren't taught that in school. But America is not solely for one group or another. It's considered a melting pot because we're supposed to be welcome to all different colors and cultures and religions and backgrounds, all of that. As long as you're coming in legally, you have a place here in America. So there's nothing wrong with diversity and inclusion on the face of it. Definitely not equity. We're supposed to be equal under the eyes of God, right? She goes on to say, we live in a world, and this is the problem. I want you guys to pay attention to this part specifically. We live in a world where those identities have been weaponized so that people are not able to see the bigger picture. We live in a world where those identities, we're talking about identities of diversity, have been weaponized so that people are not able to see the bigger picture. I really just want people to recognize it's the system that's the problem, not the fandom, not the people. It's the system that's the problem. Stop scapegoating people of color or queer people or anyone who's different. That is very, very important, guys. I got to read it again. Pay attention. We live in a world where those identities have been weaponized so that people are not able to see the bigger picture. I really just want people to recognize it's the system that's the problem. Stop scapegoating people of color or queer people or anyone who's different. Guys, that's at the heart of everything that I've been talking about since all of this stuff began. Okay? This is something that it's essential that the fandom needed to understand and to maintain in order to have the high ground in this situation. But unfortunately, because all of the diversity and all of that stuff has been weaponized, a lot of us have become defensive, we in our pushback against these things, to the point where we forgot our focus, right? So now we're lashing out or scapegoating the people of color or queer people or anyone who's different that she's talking about. We openly mock each other now. You see thumbnails where you have the most racist imagery that's put in there for jokes. I see on X people freely using the N-word, and you have black people who are attacking white people, and it seems like the psyop that I've always talked about is working, because you guys know forever I've been saying that this is deeper than Star Wars. I've always felt like there's been an aspect of this that was aimed at dividing us. You know what I mean? Remember, Rian Johnson said it was his aim to divide the audience. And little did we know how effective that would be, because we were never like this. The audience was always diverse. We always had a healthy respect for the story. And as long as it was honest, we didn't mind seeing diversity. We were already past that, But as a result of The Last Jedi and what came after that, it became a regular occurrence, to go after the fans and to blame the fans. And I'm glad to see that Kelly Marie Tran is trying to push back in her own way on what exactly is the problem here. And I think more of us need to hear this, because I already see people, just because they see her name and they see her in this article, and the article is framing it a certain way, they are attacking her. When all along, she has never said that it was the fans. She never said that. It's always been the articles. It's always been their narrative to attack the fans. And why would they do that? Because they want the division in this country. They want America to fall. They want us against one another. And we all know that a house divided cannot stand. We have to live together. We're here together. But once again, these people are sparing no expense to cause this upheaval in our country. And they're willing to use the most simplest of things, like a movie, a cartoon, books. Don't think that they don't. It might seem trivial to you, but they know how to weaponize these things, as she says. It's bigger than Star Wars, man. It's bigger than Star Trek. It's bigger than Doctor Who. It's bigger than all the things. It's bigger than video games. Like all of the things that we find under attack. It's for a reason. And we would do well to remember who we are, what we are, who we've been, and stop being so damn easy to manipulate and to destroy. All right, guys, I will leave a link of that Variety article so you can check it out for yourselves and see what she's talking about. You guys can let me know how you feel about Kelly Marie Tran. And as always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. If you want to contribute to the channel, of course, there's a super thanks feature on each and every one of my videos. It's your turn now. Sound off in the comments. I look forward to it. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.